All right, hello. We are ready now for notes 5.8 in the book. I'm on page 353, and we're going to talk about parallel and perpendicular. Well, to do that, I want us to talk about these separately before I work out any problems. Oops, can't spell parallel. P-A-R-A-L-L-E. Parallel. You need to remember, can't spell, same slope. Parallel lines have the same slope. I'll say it again. Parallel lines have the same slope. So if you're given the equation y equals 2x plus 2 and giving another equation y equals 2x plus 6, they have the same slope. The slope is this number right here in front of the x. They both have a slope of 2. So I could write m equals 2 for the first one, m equals 2 for the second one. Therefore, they are parallel. Now, realize what parallel lines are. If I insert a graph here, and let's say a slope of 2/3 up 2 over 3. And I just pick a random point. Like I pick a point, let me go to red here, pick this point here, and I go from that point up to 1, 2, over 3, 1, 2, 3, ends up right there, and I connect them. So that's just a random line with a slope of 2/3, up 2 over 3. Now I'm going to go to green. I'm going to pick another random point. Let's say right there in green. And I do the same thing. Up 2 over 3. Up 2, 1, 2, over 3. 1, 2, 3. And I connect those two. What do you notice about the red line and the green line? They are parallel because both of their slopes are 2/3. I just started drawing from a different point. So, with that said, let's now talk about perpendicular. Okay? This is a little more difficult. Opposite, reciprocal. Opposite, reciprocal. So, if one line has a slope of 2/3, the other line that's perpendicular to it, opposite means make it negative, so it's negative, and take the reciprocal. So it's, instead of 2 over 3, it's 3 over 2. So those two lines, those two slopes, would be perpendicular. Let's do another one. If one given line were 4, let's make that -4. If one line is -4, the perpendicular would be opposite, which means make it negative. Hold on. So negative goes to positive. And what's the reciprocal of 4? That would be 1/4. So the slopes -4 and 1/4 would be perpendicular. How about a slope of -1/6? Well, my perpendicular slope would be make it opposite. Opposite goes to positive. And what's the reciprocal of 1 over 6? That'd be +6. So all of those slopes there are perpendicular. With that said, remember, if you have an equation of y equals some number like 2, that's horizontal, and my slope is 0. Then if you had x equals, say, some number 4, that's not horizontal, that's vertical. And what's my slope here? Undefined. Just reminding you of that. You should remember that. With that said, let's do a quick graph. Let's just make up some random slope. Let's go, let's do the same one I did earlier, 2/3. So I'm going to pick some random point out here and go from that point up to over 3. Not very straight, but you get the idea. Sorry about that. So if my first slope was 2/3, what would be my perpendicular slope? Well, opposite means negative. Reciprocal is 3/2. So let's graph some random line. Let's start right here. And now I need to go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 2. Again, down 3 and over 2. And I draw those lines in. And what do you know about that blue line and the green line? They are perpendicular. So a lot of times you'll see this box in the corner. It means 90 degrees. That's what perpendicular means. Well, one more thing to show you. I want to do a graph again. And I want to graph the line y equals 3. Well, that's a horizontal line through the point y equals 3. So it's that line right there. Then the second line, I want it to be x equals. Let's just say x equals 3. So we have y equals 3, x equals 3. That's a vertical line. X equals 3. Right through there. Now, what do you know about, or what can you tell about that blue line and that green line? They are perpendicular. I can put that box in the corner. So whenever you have a horizontal and a vertical, they're going to be perpendicular. Okay, with that said, in your book, 5.8, I'm going to do number 2 with you. Now the directions here say, for number 2, identify which lines are parallel. Well, you have 4 equations given. You need to be able to look at these 4 equations and tell me what the slope is. What's the slope of all 4 of them? Well, the first one, y equals 6. Y, that would mean a horizontal line, so my slope there is 0. The second one, that's in y equals mx plus b form, so I'll circle the slope. So my slope there is 6. The third one, y equals 6x minus 7, it's same thing. My slope there is 6 also. And the next one, y equals negative 8. That's a horizontal line. So my slope is 0. Now, parallel this time. Parallel, which ones have the same slope? So if I number these, first, second, third, fourth, I could say the first and fourth ones are parallel because they have a slope of 0. I'm just looking for the ones that match. But also, my second and third equation are also parallel because they have a slope of 6. That's all I do. There's no graphing on this homework problem, this homework set. Let's do number 3. Get to where I need to go. Hey. All right. With number 3 here, same directions. Which of these are parallel? In other words, which of them have the same slope? And I'm now back with a live studio audience here. So on the first equation, my seniors should be able to tell me what's the slope of that equation. 3/4. The next one, y equals negative 2x plus, well, think of that as a plus 0 at the end. And what's the slope? That would be the negative 2. I'll circle these. 3/4 is here, negative 2. Okay, now with the next one, that's in point slope form. Do you guys remember point slope form? What is the slope of this equation? 3/4. And the slope of the bottom one is -2. So, which ones have the same slope? It would be my first one and my third one, and my second one and my fourth one. Those have the same slope. I'm just recording live here. Had no student come in. But number 5, my directions change. Instead of parallel, it's rather, what goes with parallel, class? Perpendicular. So this is the opposite reciprocal stuff. So same thing, get it started the same way. With the first one, what's the slope? 2/3. The second one, what's the slope? Right. -3/2. Now be careful. The third one, y is -1, so that's, I'm going to put a little note here. That's horizontal. So what's the slope of a horizontal line? 0. The bottom one, the fourth one, x equals 3. That is not horizontal, but vertical. So my slope there is undefined. So which ones are perpendicular? The top two are perpendicular. The first one and the second one, because it's 2/3 and -3/2. But also, my third and fourth are also perpendicular to each other, because a horizontal line and a vertical line are always perpendicular. Okay, that's all I have. Thank you for watching.